Among the bears of today, the giant panda is the most unique. It is a gentle herbivore, rarely initiating attacks on animals or humans. Its round body and gentle demeanor make it incredibly endearing. But what is little known is that, in the panda family's tens of millions of years of history, an ancient panda underwent a dark evolution. They were not only carnivorous, but also swift runners, faster than any bear alive today. Even more intimidating, they were the largest land predators of their time. And at that time, our ancestors were a group of early hominins, living a primitive existence. These dark giant pandas, like an insurmountable mountain, easily overpowered our ancestors. Today, let us recall the awe inspired by these dominant pandas, and the humility of being part of the food chain. In fact, the variety of predatory pandas was very rich, with their footprints spanning 4 continents, once more successful than other herbivorous pandas. However, their story is still like a side chapter in the panda family history, a digression, because the earliest and latest members of the giant panda subfamily were animals with a very high proportion of plant-based diet. In the Miocene epoch, 12 million years ago, Europe was a land of forests and swamp. The panda family was born in this paradise of abundant food and drink. Quetzalcoatlus is the earliest known panda. Like the modern giant panda, it was a staunch vegetarian and fed on tough plants. By about 11 million years ago, Myomochurus and Agriarctos appeared. They continued the same feeding habits. Given this evolutionary trend, it seemed that the giant panda from the very beginning was destined to be a peaceful herbivore. But just at this time, in the gentle panda family, appeared a rebellious descendant, Indarctos. It proclaimed, "Pandas will never be slaves," and began to break free from the constraints of a non-predatory lifestyle. The genus Indarctos and Cluny species, 11 million years ago, their earliest members, inherited the herbivorous tendencies of their ancestors, but soon their diet began to change. The carnassial teeth in their mouths, used for shearing meat, grew larger, while the molars, used for grinding plants, shrank. Their diet began to include more and more meat. By about 10 million years ago, they had evolved into carnivorous omnivores, with a meat consumption at least comparable to that of modern brown bears. For any bear species, this preference for meat is quite rare, let alone for a close relative of the giant panda. Therefore, the heterodox lineage developed from Indarctos was given a separate title, the Agriatheriinae tribe. But the most anomalous feature of Indarctos compared to the giant panda was actually in another area. This chart shows the armaments of the bear family. Unexpectedly, as the cousin of the short-faced bear, Indarctos stood out from the crowd. It was over 20 centimeters long. Well, everyone here should not boast. I am the same. The Agriatheriinae's path to a dark world did not stop with Indarctos. With a dramatic environmental change, they would transform into even more fearsome creatures. In the late Miocene, about 7 million years ago, as the global temperature continued to drop, the earth became cooler and drier. The once lush forests gradually diminished. Large areas of trees withered and fell. In their place were vast, boundless grasslands. When the forest dwellers faced forced relocation, the Great Plains offered them many new job opportunities. For example, a top predator that was good at running, the clumsy and large bear, did not seem suitable for this job. But the world is really a huge, chaotic stage. The young Agriatheriinae tribe walked into the grasslands with trepidation, but accidentally reached the pinnacle of their bear existence. This group of giant bears that roamed the Great Plains were Pleinarctos and Agriatheria. With their appearance, the era of the panda's reign had arrived. Pleinarctos and Agriatheria continued the trend of carnivorous teeth. Their carnassials became sharper, and their canines became thicker and stronger. Thick canines not only helped to deliver a powerful bite to the prey's neck, but also helped to resist the prey's struggles, just like what large cats demonstrate today. And for bears, canines are not only a tool for hunting, but also a weapon for fighting for mates. So the canines of male bears are often larger than those of female bears. When bears compete for mates, a fight is all it takes, but humans have to consider many more things. However, the most unique feature of Agriatherium and Pleinarctos is not their sharp teeth and claws. On the open grasslands, speed is a necessary condition for preying on large herbivores, so these bears evolved limbs highly adapted for running, completely different from other pandas. In fact, they are the best runners among all bear species. Their limb proportions are more slender than those of other evolving bears, and their lower arms are also longer relative to their upper arms. This allows them to take larger strides. More importantly, muscle distribution indicates that their forelimbs are suitable for exerting force in the front-to-back direction, allowing them to make more powerful running movements than other bears. This made them the absolute speed demons of the bear family. Researchers even believe that Pleinarctos may have run faster than a modern lion, although they have not yet calculated the specific value. However, this running ability came at a price. When the Agriatheriines' forelimbs were geared towards running, their lateral movement strength and flexibility decreased. This weakened their ability to grapple with prey. Of course, this weakening is only relative to other bears. The forelimbs of bears are exceptionally dexterous among carnivores, even with some decline. Their forelimb flexibility was still comparable to that of large cats, enough to effectively attack and control prey. This adaptation of the forelimbs, combined with their carnivorous teeth and huge size, indicates that the new generation of Agriatherium was a unique existence. Different from any other animal, they relied on speed to hunt on the grasslands, while also having a more robust build than cats and dogs. Some netizens might say that the short-faced bear, known as the running bear, is the same kind of animal. But his title has actually been revoked by the scientific community, put away his certificate of excellence. With their huge size and incredible speed, the Agriatheriini followed the expansion of the grasslands, spreading to every land they could reach. From their homeland in Eurasia to North America and Africa, establishing a real-life Pandaria, and in the process of conquering the world. The genera Pleinarctos and Agriatherium also diversified into many species. Pleinarctos was distributed in Eurasia and North America. Among them, Pleinarctodensis and Pleinarctos coeli of North America were the largest in size, estimated to weigh 300 and 5,500 kilograms, comparable to the largest brown bears today. At the same time, they were also the largest terrestrial carnivores in the area, surpassing saber-toothed tigers and dire wolves in size. The North American continent was mainly composed of vast grasslands, interspersed with small forests and other shrub vegetation. Pleinarctos was scattered in different habitats of this vast land, and its feeding habits therefore varied. According to isotopic evidence in Mexico, demonstrates the adaptability of Pleinarctos. It was able to prey on a variety of animals, especially those that ran very fast. However, Pleinarctos was not the most formidable. The panda Agriatherium was not only more carnivorous than him, but also had a wider distribution. They were not only distributed in the traditional sphere of influence of bears, Eurasia and North America, but there was even a species that invaded sub-Saharan Africa, becoming the only bear in history to conquer this region. At the same time, this species was also the largest Agriatherium. Its name is Agriatherium africanum. Agriatherium africanum weighed 750 kilograms, comparable to the largest polar bears today, and was the largest terrestrial carnivore in Africa at the time. Even more intimidating, this giant bear possessed a bite force that surpassed all modern bears. This table does not list the largest individuals. Among them, the canine bite force of Agriatherium africanum was as high as 4,566 newtons. In comparison, the modern brown bear has only 2,800 newtons. Given the powerful strength of Agriatherium africanum, the prey it hunted may have been a level above that of Pleinarctos. Animals such as old, weak, and sick elephants, hippos, and rhinos may have had difficulty escaping its clutches. Even smaller prey would not be spared. After all, modern bears have records of preying on small animals. Therefore, our ancestor, Australopithecus, may have also fallen prey to this bear. Australopithecus appeared in the early Pliocene in eastern and southern Africa, with a large overlap in time and space with Agriatherium africanum. Thinking of the tenfold size difference between the two, and the inescapable predicament, I feel a chill down my spine for our ancestors, because Agriatherium africanum not only ran faster than our ancestors, but could also climb trees. Faced with this invincible dark giant panda, rather than running away, Australopithecus might as well have contemplated how to be reincarnated in the next life. But unfortunately, today's pandas can no longer make bipedal creatures experience this fear. The entire Agriatheriini tribe went extinct in the early Pleistocene, about 2 million years ago. At this time, the Earth was entering the Ice Age, and many ancient animals became extinct. As a large carnivore with a huge appetite, our giant panda was not spared. The Agriatheriini tribe evolved from gentle, herbivorous pandas, and grew to become a top predator that dominated the world. They thrived in a rapidly changing environment, and with their unique running adaptations, they conquered the emerging grassland ecosystem. More importantly, Agriatherium is a symbol of the panda's former glory, although they only have one goofy cousin that survived. They have already engraved their historical status on the Earth through the fossil record. Even if we consider all terrestrial carnivorous mammals in history, the Agriatheriini tribe was one of the most powerful beasts in terms of overall strength. It is worth noting that today's giant panda appears to be at peace with the world, but in fact, it still possesses the digestive system of a carnivore. Given that herbivorous pandas have undergone a dark evolution in history, we cannot underestimate the potential of these roly-poly bears. As long as the pandas can endure, perhaps one day in the future, they will rebuild Pandaria and become the rulers of this planet. Agriatherium is a symbol of the pandas' former glory. Although they only have one goofy cousin that survived, they have already, through the fossil record, engraved their historical status upon the Earth. Even when historically, all terrestrial carnivorous mammals are considered, the Agriatheriani tribe was one of the most formidable beasts in terms of overall strength. It is worth noting that while today's giant panda appears peaceful, in reality, it still possesses the digestive system of a carnivore. Given that historically, herbivorous pandas have undergone a dark evolution, we cannot underestimate the potential of these roly-poly bears. As long as the pandas can endure, perhaps one day in the future, they will rebuild Pandaria and become the rulers of this planet. Hey roly-poly, stop licking. Pandas will never be slaves. Your support is my motivation to create. Please like, subscribe, and share. We will see you next time.